In the words of Abraham Lincoln, the philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. Picture a fledgling nation, born from a fiery desire for self-governance, committed to the ideals of democracy, freedom, and the pursuit of prosperity. This was the United States in its early years, a time of exploration, innovation, and expansion. The nation, fresh from the shackles of colonial rule, was eager to carve out its own destiny. A significant cornerstone in this journey was the establishment of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. These fundamental documents, steeped in the wisdom of the Founding Fathers, aimed to protect the rights of the individual and ensure a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. They became the compass guiding the nation's course, shaping its identity and ethos. This ethos of individual freedom and the pursuit of prosperity laid the groundwork for a nation that would rise to global prominence. As the nation grew, so too did its economy. The Industrial Revolution transformed the United States into an economic powerhouse. The Industrial Revolution was an epoch of monumental change, a period where the United States moved from an agrarian society to one dominated by industry and machine manufacturing. It was a time when the country's economy started to grow and prosper like never before. But what fueled this transformation? As if an answer to the country's economic prayers, technological advancements came galloping in. Picture this: the steam engine, the telegraph, the cotton gin, and the assembly line. These were not just inventions, they were the catalysts that ignited the flame of progress. They accelerated production, made tasks easier, and opened up new avenues for wealth creation. Increased production was one of the most significant outcomes of the Industrial Revolution. Factories sprouted up like mushrooms after the rain, churning out goods at a rate previously unimaginable. With these factories humming day and night, the United States began to produce more, sell more, and in turn, earn more. This newfound wealth didn't just sit idle, it created a ripple effect throughout the economy. Money flowed into infrastructure, education, and other sectors, further fueling the country's growth. The United States was not just making products, it was making progress. And let's not forget the impact on global trade. The Industrial Revolution opened the gates for the United States to participate in the global market. American goods were shipped across the seas, and foreign goods poured into American ports. The United States was no longer just a participant in the global economy, it was becoming a contender. The Industrial Revolution was a transformative period in American history. It didn't just ramp up production or generate wealth, it reshaped the social, political, and economic fabric of the nation. It propelled the United States into the modern era, laying the groundwork for the country's future global leadership. The Industrial Revolution didn't just transform the economy, it set the stage for the United States to become a global leader. However, prosperity often comes with its own challenges. The American Civil War tested the unity of the nation. This period, from 1861 to 1865, saw the United States divided into the North and the South, with each side fighting for what they believed was the true American spirit. The Civil War was a pivotal moment in the nation's history. It was a brutal struggle, claiming more American lives than any other conflict. Yet from this dark chapter emerged a beacon of hope. The war led to the abolition of slavery, a monumental step in the pursuit of human rights. This commitment to equality and freedom defined the nation's character and set the course for its future. The Civil War wasn't just a battle between two sides of America. It was a crucible that shaped and solidified the United States' identity. In the face of adversity, the nation persevered and emerged stronger and more united. The world wars of the 20th century were a turning point for the United States. The Great War, or World War I as it's now known, commenced in 1914. However, it wasn't until 3 years later, in 1917, that the United States entered the fray. Initially hesitant to engage in a European conflict, the United States was brought into the war by a series of events, including unrestricted submarine warfare and the Zimmermann telegram. Their involvement marked a departure from the country's traditional isolationist stance. American troops, known as doughboys, played a pivotal role in tipping the scales in favor of the Allies. The United States emerged from the war with increased global influence, both economically and militarily. However, the country returned to isolationism during the interwar years, a retreat that would only be shattered by the onset of World War II. World War II, the most devastating conflict in human history, began in 1939. Once again, the United States initially remained neutral. However, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941 propelled the country into the war. The United States mobilized its vast industrial capabilities to support the war effort, becoming the arsenal of democracy. The United States played a crucial role in securing victory for the Allies. American forces fought on multiple fronts, from the beaches of Normandy to the islands of the Pacific. The United States also emerged as a nuclear power following the successful development and deployment of the atomic bomb. In the aftermath of the war, the United States found itself one of the world's two superpowers, alongside the Soviet Union. The country's military and political influence had expanded dramatically. Its economy, bolstered by wartime production, became the largest in the world. The World Wars thrust the United States onto the global stage, forever altering the course of history. The country's involvement in these two monumental conflicts marked the ascension of the United States as a global superpower, a title it still holds today. In the aftermath of the wars, the United States experienced an era of unprecedented prosperity. A time when the nation, having emerged relatively unscathed from the global conflicts, was primed to take the lead on the world stage. The country's industry, already in high gear from wartime production, shifted seamlessly into peacetime production. This shift led to a significant economic boom, a period fondly remembered as the golden age of capitalism. At the heart of this prosperity was the American consumer, now equipped with a newfound purchasing power. The economy ballooned as people bought homes in sprawling suburbs, new cars, and appliances. The middle class expanded, and with it, the promise of the American dream seemed within reach for many. But this prosperity wasn't just confined within the borders of the United States. The nation used its wealth to extend its influence globally. The Marshall Plan, an ambitious project to rebuild war-torn Europe, was a testament to this. By aiding in the reconstruction of European economies, the United States not only helped to prevent the spread of communism, but also created robust markets for its goods and services. In the realm of technology, the United States was making leaps and bounds. The space race against the Soviet Union led to significant advancements. Out of this competition, NASA was born, and by 1969, the United States had put a man on the moon, a feat that symbolized the nation's technological prowess and its position as a global superpower. The economic boom of the post-war years was more than just a period of prosperity. It was a time when the United States cemented its role as a global leader. The nation's economic might translated into political power, allowing it to shape the world order and establish itself as a superpower. The post-war boom solidified the United States' position as a global leader, both economically and politically. This era of prosperity played a significant role in how the United States became a superpower, a position it continues to hold to this day. The Cold War era marked a new chapter in the story of the United States as a superpower. In the ashes of the Second World War, two superpowers emerged, locked in a battle not of bullets, but of ideologies and influence. The United States and the Soviet Union, two nations that couldn't be more different, found themselves entwined in a complex dance of power and control that we would come to know as the Cold War. This was a time of great tension, but also one of great innovation. The United States, bolstered by its post-war prosperity, was ready to flex its muscle on the global stage. The nation's rivalry with the Soviet Union served to further cement its position as a world leader. The space race, the arms race, the struggle for influence over unaligned countries, all these were battlegrounds of this Cold War, and in each, the United States sought to assert its power and superiority. Yet this was not a time of blind aggression. The United States also understood the power of diplomacy and the importance of alliances. The formation of NATO, the Marshall Plan, the Truman Doctrine, these were all strategies designed to prevent the spread of communism and establish a global order based on democracy and capitalism. Throughout the Cold War, the United States demonstrated its ability to adapt and respond to changing circumstances. When the Berlin Wall fell in 1989, it signaled the end of the Cold War and left the United States as the world's sole superpower. But the story doesn't end there. In the post-Cold War era, the United States has continued to navigate the complexities of global politics, from the challenges of terrorism to the rise of China as a new global power. As we reflect on the journey of the United States to superpower status, we must ask ourselves, what lessons can we learn from history, and how can they guide us into the future?